Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and I'm a hot messy mama. Today I'm doing a look using all products from the drugstore and Sephora and Ulta, their own brands. I do already have my brows done and my primer, but if you want to see how I am going to create this look, please keep watching. Okay, as I mentioned, I did already do my brows. I just have the Sephora Thin Micro Brow, and I have some of the Moira 1.5mm Precision Brow. And then for brow gel, I have, of course, the NYX Thick It, Stick It. This is in the shade Brunette. For primer, I just have some of the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And now I will go in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter on the high points of my face. The Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealers. I got the shade 21.5. Why? And I'm going to use it all over my face because it's very much my skin tone. This concealer goes really far and it's got beautiful coverage, so easy to use as a foundation. I'm also going to use it as my concealer and bronzer. I'm going to go ahead and blend that with one of the new Morphe Pro brushes. This is the angled foundation brush. Ooh, yeah, I think I used too much. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how this blends out. I know it blends really quickly and it goes very far. You don't need that much when you're using it as concealer. Take that on my lid. Since it is a concealer, I can prime my eyelids at the same time. That looks really nice. I'm now going in with 10N for my concealer shade. Just a dot under each eye, a little bit down my nose and on the tip, across my melasma mustache, brighten up down here a little bit. I prefer this. This concealer is stunning. I'm going to go in with the smaller version of that same Morphe brush. I guess I don't have to do that. I'm using my phone to film because I don't have a memory card here. I've been planning this video, but filming it right now was last minute. I ended up having some time with my son at school and me at home. That is such a beautiful concealer. Let's go in and do the bronzer shade. This is the shade 38P. I'm just gonna do 2 dots. I've got a pretty big forehead and I like to pretend it's not as big as it is. And give myself a bigger bottom lip, give myself a little more eye contour. Fluffy-ish, dense sort of brush from the L'Oreal collection. I really adore the Morphe L'Oreal collection. That's so pretty. Look how quick it blends out. The Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer is one of the best new products to come out this year from any brand. High-end, drugstore, affordable, luxury. It's absolutely a stunning product. I have fairly mature skin. I will be 42 in 2 months. And I have a 3-year-old. I'm going to go in with my concealer brush now for the blending out the nose. And if you find you've gone a little overboard with your liquid or cream bronzer, You can always go back in either with a sponge to absorb it or the brush you use to blend your foundation or concealer. I'm going to connect that eye contour down the side of my nose. Really snatch that big old nose I've got. And the little bit across the tip here kind of fakes the appearance of a turned up tip. You can see from the side, my nose does not turn up at all. But from the front, I can pretend like it does. That's lovely. I'm going to go back in with the foundation brush just a little bit in the middle of my nose and on the tip. That looks great. Let's go back in with the bronzer brush. How pretty is that? I really, really like this concealer. You can do a full face with it. I'm probably way too far away, but my filming setup is not ideal right now, but I hope you can see how pretty that is. This is sun damage, by the way, the little bit of discoloration there. But otherwise, we're pretty well covered. I'm going to add one more dot of the bronzer shade over here. It just feels like I need a tiny bit more right there. Okay. To set, I am going to use the newer Moira. This is the Soft Focus Waterproof Setting Powder. This is the shade 100, and then I also have the shade 600 that I can use as powder bronzer and set the powder. I'm going to go in with this duo fiber brush from Morphe. It doesn't have a name or a number. I'm just going to loosely tap off some of the excess. This gives a really nice blurring effect. Can you see the difference between this eye that I just set and this eye? It blurs a little. It's also got a little bit of radiance, but not a ton. It's called Soft Focus. It doesn't have micro glitter or shimmer in it, but it just does a nice job of smoothing out your pores, blurring out your forehead wrinkles. I mean, look at that. You can't see my forehead wrinkles anymore. The new powder from Vive, Jamie Genevieve's line, the Modern Powder Perfector. Holy grail. This might be a dupe for it. This Moira might be a dupe. Okay, I do have a little bit of a cold, so hopefully putting this under here will stop the coverage from coming off as I blow and wipe my nose. I'm also going to take this under the contour and bronzing over here. Clean that up a little bit. This is a gorgeous powder. I'm going to use the bronzer as well. I'm going to use the brown, the powder, shade 600. This is from ColourPop. This is a duo fiber brush from ColourPop. And same thing, I'm going to take. Also, can we talk about how pretty the embossing is? They're floral blushes. Also, they've got like ombre floral brushes that are really blushes that are really beautifully embossed as well. Okay. Moira. And they have a warehouse in Los Angeles or in Southern California. And if you place an online order, instead of getting it delivered, you can go pick it up right from their distribution center, which is pretty amazing. That's an awesome feature. Later. I don't know why. Look how pretty that is. It's just the soft focus really is true. It blurs beautifully. I think this powder is about $12 drugstore pricing, and it's worth every penny of it. Let's come down the side of my nose a little bit. basically everywhere I put the liquid concealer, I'm going over with the powder bronzer. Okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I think we're at a good start. I'm going to use some of the new AF 94, that's Halsey's drugstore line. I'm going to use, I've got two of the cream blushes. They are this kind of berry fruit punch shade. Also got one that is more orange terracotta. So very different, both beautiful. I think I'm wearing a pink shirt. Let's wear the berry one. This is called If You Dare. Again, it's this berry fruit punch shade. Cute packaging. It's got the little angsty teen. Let's see how this applies over powder. I haven't put it over a set face before. This is also a multi-stick. You're supposed to be able to use it on lips, everything else. For 24 to blend this out. All right, it's picking up a little bit right here. You can see it is lifting the powder products underneath. That's a shame. There's certainly drugstore blush, creamy blush options that don't do that, affordable. But yeah, that's really a shame. It just totally made a splotchy mess over here. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a bummer. But yeah, it totally lifted everything that was underneath. Maybe that's my fault. I should have maybe gone in and used it differently, like patted it in with my fingers. I'm going back in with the brush I used to blend out the concealer that has a little bit of the cream bronzer, liquid concealer bronzer on it, to kind of clean that area back up so we don't look like a complete disaster. Go back in with the bronzing powder brush, smooth that out. All right, let's make another decision then. We're not going to use this. Go in with the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Cream Blush. Hopefully we'll have better luck with that. This is in the shade Bermuda. This is the new e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush. Right there. Pretty shade. I use this brush from Eco Tools. It's another duo fiber. Hopefully we have better luck. And I'm gonna just kind of pat this in. I think my issue was with the AF 94 to start was going in directly on my skin instead of applying it to a brush. Bring a little across my nose. Oh, it's very luminous, but because it's luminous, it's showing off all my texture right here. All the work the soft focus powder did and the luminous blush. Not all luminous blushes do that. Some of them don't enhance the texture, but this one definitely does. It's still pretty. I'm still going to go in with a little more up here. But beware, if you've got an abundance of texture, this e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush is going to show that off. Let's bring this all the way up, like on the edge of our forehead. Get kind of a sunburned look. Gonna get across my nose. I'm going to take the brush that I used for the under eye, for the lighter color of the setting powder, and kind of go back over the top here. See if I can smooth out some of that texture. I did not add any more powder to the brush. And then same thing, I'm gonna go in with the bronzer shade at the back here. See if I can smooth out some of that. Okay. Makeup's all about trial and error, and if you make a mistake, who cares? It's just makeup. It washes off and you can fix it. And don't worry, it's not a big deal. Ugh, I hate these underarms. I lost 100 pounds from having bariatric surgery, but I know I look better than I did, and I'm healthier, and I can keep up with my son, but the extra skin gets to be a little depressing. But don't get me wrong, I'm very pleased with the rest of it. For highlight, I'm going to use both a cream and a powder. I'm going to use the Flower. Some people, it is not a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Highlight Wand. It's in the same packaging. It's not as intense of a highlight. So it's pretty. This is the more champagne shade. It's called Opal. I'm just going to take that on my finger and put a little bit. It's a more natural highlight. It's pretty, but it's not like, it's not the Charlotte, and it's not a dupe for the Charlotte. But it's definitely, I mean, you can see on my nose, that's pretty. It's got reflective properties for sure. In fact, put a little bit up here. I'm going to be using a Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette, so I don't need to do too much up there. Let's go in with a little bit of the Milani. Again, this is the shade Dolce Perla. I use this all the time, whether I'm doing a drugstore video or not. You know what? I'm not going to do my inner corner yet because the eyeshadow palette I'm going to use has a shade that's appropriate for inner corner. They don't always. Oh, that's pretty. I'm going to take that right here. So under the eyebrow a little bit. For eyes, I think because of the color shirt, I'm just going to use the Nude Awakening 10 pan from ColourPop. It's got some gorgeous shades. Very fall and neutral. These neutral shimmers are very beautiful. But I think instead I'm going to use this one that's Petalette. It's kind of pinky tone. So not super fall. Start with this transition shade. And since I'm here with the brush, I'm going to take it underneath as well. Try and build up that color a little bit. It's not super pigmented. Blend that up towards the eyebrow highlight. And I'm still using that same shade. Just trying to build up the color a little more right here. Could just be that because it's light, that's as deep as it's gonna get on my skin tone. Okay, that's pretty. That's a pretty shade. I don't know how much you can actually see of it, but it's pretty. All right, I'm gonna go in with this shade over here is actually more of a satin, but I'm gonna put it on my outer half of my lid and then go in with the same bullet crease brush and blend it out towards the middle, out on the edge here. That blended out really nicely. Go in, the brush, blend it out. Went back in with the same transition shade to blend out where they meet in the crease a little more. I'm going to take some more of the darker shade on the brush to focus on the very outer edge here. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of that down here on my lower lash, just what's left on the brush. A clean blending brush. This is the brush from Persona. I just blend outward a little bit where both of those shades are together. This is just a very simple, soft, purpley fall look. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, now for the lid, I'm gonna go in with this pretty shade right in the middle. It's sort of a lavender pink. You'll see it on my eye, I hope. I may have to go in with my finger, but I've got pretty long nails, so it gets a little hard. That picks up pretty nicely, actually. And I'm focusing that on the front half of my lid since we have the darker shade on the outside. That's really pretty. Same thing over here. And I'm putting the bulk of the product right in the middle and then blending it forward. And that worked just beautifully on the brush. I'm going to take a little bit, my finger, just for the very center to give a little more pigmentation right there. Oh yeah, that's definitely brighter. Right in the middle. Oh, that's lovely. And then I'm going to take the same brush I was using and just kind of blend that over in both directions. I don't want to get a lot of fallout since I've already done the rest of my makeup, but I don't seem to have any fallout, which is remarkable. I'm going to take this same brush that I've been using for the shimmer shade, just right gently under my lower lash right here, just to give a little bit of that same color and sparkle. For the inner corner, the white shade, and see how I like it. Oh no, there it goes. I just need to build it up a little. And the white has some purple in it. So yeah, I'm happy with just the white. And I am taking that towards the inside of my lower lash line as well. I've got pretty deep set eyes that are close together, but not, there's a lot of depth in here, so I try and brighten my inner corner. Okay, oh, that's pretty. I'm gonna take the brush up here without adding any more to kind of blend in the purple with the Dolce Perla. And then I'm going to take that back here and get a little bit of light from the Dolce Perla on the inside as well. I think that looks beautiful. I really like it. Again, this is the Petalette $5 palette from Wetnwild to go with my look, to go with my pink pleasing shirt from, what's his name? Harry Styles. Okay. I'm going to do my typical, this is the best eyeliner for the waterline. It is the LA Girl Ultra Matte brown. It's the deepest brown. It's almost black. There is a black one. There's a navy blue one. There's a lighter brown one. But I have these all over the place. I have them in my purse. And they tightline without transferring. A new tube of the Voluminous Lash Paradise. Definitely voluminous. I wish it had a little more length. My lashes are pretty long anyway, and most people would be thankful with this result. This one, as the name would suggest, is volumizing more than anything. But it is a beautiful drugstore mascara. Just a little bit of what's left over on the brush for the bottom. I'm going to give a spritz with the Catrice Prime and Fine, the dewy one. Make sure you shake this up because it does have particles. Beautiful spritzer, beautiful results. Look at that sheen. My Valentino sample cards make the best fan. All right, for lips. There are so many drugstore options when it comes to lips. I do not think a dark lip is appropriate, which is a shame because I just got one of the new lip NYX whip, smooth whip. If you saw my haul video, you saw this, but this is kind of a berry red, which if I had a more basic eye would maybe have been appropriate. Are we doing this? This is the shade Parfait. Gosh, I keep forgetting you're over here. Is it too much? With the purple eye. It's pretty. It's a comfortable formula. I need to take a brush. Just kind of blur it out a little. Okay, I think that's pretty. Actually really wearable. That's a really pretty berry. Here is a little bit better view of the finished look. Just a very simple eye look. Pretty berry lip. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you will subscribe to my channel for more beauty content. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me if you like what you are seeing. And that's it. I'm so lame. I'm so old. Anyway, have a great rest of your day. Bye.